Alright, this video is going to be chopped and screwed because it's kind of like a Habitat way. It's just, there's so much to say and so not a lot of time. I want to get the message out, but there's good and bad. Some of the other members of the team were saying he was forging inspection documents to get foundations poured quicker so they could build quicker on their aggressive build schedule. So that house started sinking. I wasn't a part of that organization during that time. I came on halfway through when they were halfway through the subdivision and they needed help and they were recruiting people. Forgive me if talk a little different. I went to the dentist this morning. I'm trying out one of those new disposable crush in case of emergency fillings. Jokes, no. Okay, so I wanted to talk about Habitat real quick. Had a friend who was invited by another friend to go volunteer for a company who's donating time and resources. And I was a little upset because of all the issues that I had shared with this person. But at the end of the day, they're going in teams, they're adults, they can handle themselves, and they're perfectly aware of what's going on, right? So, but it brought up some memories, right? Like, and I never really addressed those things. So that's what I'm planning to do here. I mean, I've talked about them on Facebook, but that was more so initially, like when it was really heated, right? When my project manager called me or called me in the middle of the night and said, "You need to stop posting on Facebook," because he didn't like what I had to say about the other guy who asked another employee to leave a propane heater running in the middle of the city, unattended. And yes, I kind of feel bad about that because the manager that I was posting about is a good guy. He made a mistake. He was overworked and stressed. But it was the last straw of failures that I had witnessed. And one of the big ones was when a crew leader assaulted or groped. It doesn't matter how he puts it. If it were a playful or friendly or whatever way, it was highly inappropriate and dangerous. And from what I witnessed, the volunteer looked extremely uncomfortable. And if anyone had touched my niece or nephew that way, I would break their fingers, hands down. But stuff like that was getting ignored because turnover in staff, people that have been there long term, new positions, money. There's a lot of money coming in and people looking to secure their new positions and titles in the organization. A lot of people looking the other way. A lot of people wanting to keep things quiet because donor money coming in is good for business. There's more to it. There was a lot of inappropriate things said on some of the senior crew leader volunteers and staff members, ogling women, saying things about certain women, like, you know, and basically some of them would get in line to kind of get dibs on who's going to be on their team for the day, right? And they would kind of go off of that. And I was literally told to watch out for specific volunteers that might be inappropriate. And by my manager. I was supposed to be his eyes and ears. And every time I brought up stuff, it was like, okay, well, commonly it was starting to present itself that it was some of the older senior guys, right? And they've kind of solidified their spot in the community because they have the knowledge and they have the leadership skills to get houses built quickly and donors happy and homeowners paying mortgages. Just again, to reiterate, the people that I'm talking about here, redacting names, but I will say the Knoxville Habitat for Humanity is where a lot of the people that in the stories I'm sharing worked or volunteered. This was last year, and you know, they're part of the reason why I did send up a flag or a flare challenge flag against the organization, inviting other veterans in to see for themselves, was because there were issues, and it was not just me that noticed it, but there was a lot of issues brought up by staff that have been there for 15-20 years that have been that have seen the organization from the very beginning all the way to what it is now. So it hasn't always been as corrupt as it was last year, and right now I don't know, because in some ways I took myself out of the fight by posting the social media stuff, right? Which is why I got fired for violating social media policy and whistleblowing. So that was kind of my mistake, but it was for a good reason, and I think ultimately it got the message out, the message that wasn't getting out and was getting covered up. And one of the main things was neglect of homeowners, neglect of volunteers, and inappropriate behavior by staff members and senior volunteers, particularly the one crew leader who was inappropriately touching a volunteer on a build. And special operations and veteran community to build houses with Habitat, right? Put your skills to use, hold the community accountable, and make sure people are doing the right things. There are bad people out there, predators looking to use their positions and positions in the community to get over on other people, right? And that goes for the person that inappropriately touched someone and the people that were neglecting homeowners, the very people you were there, the reason why you were there, because of the homeowner. You start neglecting them and the volunteers, the place has lost its way, the organization lost its way.